Hi, this is John Blyler. I'm the editor-in-chief of Chip Design magazine. Today, on the DAC floor, I had a chance to talk with Gary Stringham, who has just written a new book on hardware and firmware through Elsevier Press. The reason this is important is, as all of us know in the EDA community, Cadence has made a big push to recognize and work with the importance of software, and by that, most folks recognize it as firmware in the chip design world. Here's an example of something that speaks directly to that.
Hi, I'm a firmware engineer. I've done a lot of stuff with firmware, working very closely with hardware. I've done a lot of things in trying to get this software and hardware work together. I have seen problems with the hardware and trying to get these issues together, and so what I have done is collected a whole bunch of best practices and principles to try to get the hardware and software world together. It's not just verification of virtual prototypes, but it's the whole system from the beginning of the design to the end when the product is being shipped out the door. So one of the things that I've done is to collect a whole bunch of best practices. And so, for example, one of them is when you design a chip with the bits in the register and you come out with a new version, don't move the bits around. It makes it difficult for firmware to work on both versions of the hardware. Another example is to keep the addresses in the right place. Add some test and debug hooks so that it makes it easier for firmware to try to figure out what's going on when the thing isn't working correctly. Another very key part is documentation. I know that's a not so nice word among engineers. They don't like to write, but it is a very key tool. One of the things that's very important, though, is collaboration between the hardware and firmware teams. They need to collaborate before the hardware is designed, before they start designing the register, so that the hardware has the right tools and hooks that it needs for firmware to use.